Africa must take up its central role, because that's where we are today, with our huge demographic dividend of young people in this continent. And ladies and gentlemen, let me say this, that we have a historic opportunity to reform the African Union and make it fit for purpose in light of the collective developmental issues and aspirations of our continent. We must execute this reform with resolve and a sense of urgency commensurate with the magnitude of our challenges, potential, and ambition. Africans are highly enterprising. We have a huge, educated, young people, skilled and youthful, and are ready to play their part in developing our continent. We must not let them down, and we must not keep them waiting. I appreciate the effort that has gone into achieving the reforms made so far in the AU. What is remaining, in my estimation, is about 4 areas that I intend that we will, all of us, focus. Number 1 is the AU Commission. As Musa Faki has said, there is need for greater internal efficiency and alignment so that we have a fit-for-purpose Africa Union Commission that delivers on its mandate without blockades, roadblocks, and unnecessary bureaucracy that is limiting its ability to deliver at the moment, and to align it with the other institutions so that we do not end up with a dysfunctional commission. There is need for us to have a conversation as member states. And there is need for us to agree that we need to give the Commission sufficient power, donate sufficient power and authority to the Commission to be able to act on our behalf. We cannot have an organization that we have appointed. We cannot have a commission that we have appointed, that we pay for, and we have denied them the authority to execute the mandate for which we have set it up to achieve. We must make up our minds that if we have set up this institution and we have given it a job to do, we must give it the power to do it. We must give it the authority to do it. Number 2 is that every institution must be held to account. And therefore, the accountability mechanism is also going to improve the quality of service that we will get from the Commission. As it is now, the Pan-African Parliament is an advisory organization, doesn't have authority to interrogate the budget, doesn't approve some of the appointments of the institution, does not, participate meaningfully in the governance of our organization. And we need to interrogate whether the 275 members is not too big an organization for us to fund, and whether we should rationalize the size of the Pan-African Parliament and give it sufficient work and mandate and authority in line with the constitutive act of the Africa Union. Like all democratic institutions, for example, in Kenya today, there's a big debate in Parliament because it is our belief in institutions. We have an executive that proposes certain measures. The people and Parliament interrogate it, provides oversight. And we have a judicial system that also makes sure that if there are any issues, the judiciary can speak to those issues. So our Pan-African Parliament must take up a proper place in the governance of our institution so that we can guarantee ourselves that these institutions will work accountably. Listening to our chair and the obvious and sometimes, unavoidable conflicts between different institutions and even the overlap that is there. There is no mechanism that is in place to resolve some of these conflicts, some of the overlaps. And that is why it is absolutely necessary for us to finally establish the African Court of Justice. That way, if there is a conflict between the PRC and the Commission, the court should be able to resolve that and to provide guidance that in accordance with the Constitutive Act of the AU, this is where the mandate of the Commission ends, this is where the mandate of the PRC begins, and this is how it should go forward. At the moment, there is no mechanism. And all the time, it is then referred to heads of state. And it becomes very difficult because the heads of state are not a court. So these are some of the what is limiting our institution. And an Africa Commission, an AU that is not properly functional, undermines the potential of our continent and the opportunities therein. And so, finally, the fourth issue is how to finance our organization. And that needs to be a very candid conversation. I have had occasion to discuss with many of my colleagues on this subject, and everybody seems to agree that we need to take a firmer position in funding our organization and working with others so that we can achieve our aspirations. Let me say this, that many of the threats and challenges we face are complex, dynamic, and global in nature, calling for collective action on an unprecedented multilateral scale. Africa is committed to making its critical contribution not only to human progress, but also to efforts to find solutions. Because of our unique and abundant resource endowments and productive potential, our continent offers a viable and transformative pathway to a future of prosperity for all of humanity. We bring to the table of multilateral strategic deliberation and global problem solving the promise of unlocking an unprecedented era of global economic growth and prosperity. I have had the occasion in a number of forums across the continent to outline the outstanding reforms which, in my considered view, shall be key areas of focus for me to deliver on my mandate efficiently. However, this outline, as I have told you, the 4 areas: to reform the Commission, to work on our Parliament, to make sure that we have a court, and to ensure that we have a proper funding mechanism. This outline is indicative, and I remain open to consultation and deliberation. I am confident that you have deliberated vigorously and exhaustively on various priorities, and I am interested in tapping into your extensive operational experience in AU institutions to enrich and refine our reform agenda and to explore innovative and inclusive ways to take the AU to the next level. I intend to work systematically in building on the substantial work accomplished by His Excellency President Kagame, and further, I shall focus on establishing a robust and sustainable funding mechanism for both the AU regular and other programs. Let me also confirm that when we talk about potential, when we talk about, for example, renewable energy potential, in this town of Naivasha, we just signed with that potential will not be realized unless we organize ourselves appropriately to tap into the opportunities that the enormous resources we have present. Let me also give you another example. About 30 kilometers from here, we have 5,000 acres that we are in the process of developing with Afri-Exim Bank to unlock the industrial potential and manufacturing capacity using renewable energy in this county of Nakuru. Afri-Exim is a Pan-African institution, and therefore it speaks to the kind of potential that Africa Union has in working with us to unlock the potential that exists in our continent. Building Africa Union institutions, including financial institutions, including other institutions, will help us unlock this potential. And therefore, let's work together in recognizing the importance, urgency, and the weight of expectations and the transformational implications of the work of reforming the institutions of the Africa Union. I am confident that I can rely on you individually and collectively to contribute meaningfully to taking the reform agenda forward and actualizing the dream of the Africa Union for our time and for generations ahead of us. I wish all of us success in our continued deliberations on this very historic agenda. Thank you very much, and I look forward to us.